Tiffany Stratton defeats her dream opponent Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, A Star is Born. WrestleMania 41 was nothing short of historic, but one moment stood tall above the rest. Tiffany Stratton, the center of the universe, faced off against her self-proclaimed dream opponent, Charlotte Flair, and she did the unthinkable. She beat the Queen, and not just beat her, she earned it. In this video, we break down Tiffany's meteoric rise, her emotional WrestleMania victory, and what this means for the future of WWE's women's division. Grab your popcorn, because this is a moment fans will be talking about for years. Let's go. Let's rewind the clock. Just a couple of years ago, Tiffany Stratton was dazzling crowds in NXT with her mix of athleticism, poise, and unapologetic charisma. Her signature look, her catchphrases, her in-ring agility, it was all unmistakable. She had it written all over her. But as the NXT Women's Champion, Stratton made her intentions clear. She wanted to be more than just a developmental standout. She wanted to be a main event star. She started calling out names, big names. And one name came up more than any other, Charlotte Flair. Not just a 14-time world champion, but the standard in WWE women's wrestling. Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte is who I looked up to, who I studied. But if I want to prove I'm the best, I have to beat the best. And I want her on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. Fast forward to early 2025. After months of momentum on SmackDown, Tiffany finally got the attention she wanted. Charlotte Flair made her return on an episode of SmackDown and came face to face with the self-proclaimed center of the universe. Fans erupted. The tease of a generational clash was too much to ignore. Charlotte Flair, you think you're ready? I've been carrying this division for a decade. You're not just walking into the spotlight, sweetheart, you're stepping into the Flair legacy. And just like that, the dream became a reality. WWE officially announced the blockbuster match, Tiffany Stratton vs. Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 41. A generational showdown. A queen versus a rising princess. Legacy versus evolution. What followed was weeks of tension, insults, and psychological warfare. Tiffany taunted Charlotte with parodies, calling her last season's look. Charlotte responded with brutal in-ring statements, destroying opponents and reminding the world why she's a 14-time champion. Tiffany's strategy was simple: stay one step ahead. Whether it was surprise attacks, social media shade, or flashy entrances that stole the spotlight, she made sure people were talking. Meanwhile, Charlotte played the veteran game, letting her experience do the talking. But behind the sass and sarcasm, there was real emotion. Tiffany wasn't just chasing fame, she was chasing validation. Beating Charlotte at WrestleMania wasn't just about a win. It was about proving to herself, and the world, that she belonged. Then came the night. WrestleMania 41, Las Vegas. Lights blazing, fans screaming. The stakes couldn't be higher. Cut to Tiffany's entrance with glittering pink gear and a golden throne prop. Tiffany Stratton arrived in style, riding a throne down the ramp like royalty in the making. But Charlotte, she came with fire. A legacy entrance with a full orchestra playing a remix of her father's theme. It was a spectacle worthy of their family name. From the first bell, the match was electric. Charlotte tried to ground Tiffany early, using technical holds and signature suplexes to slow her momentum. But Tiffany, she flipped, twirled, and twisted her way out of danger, showing the world why she's one of the most athletic women in WWE today. There were so many near falls, so many moments that had fans holding their breath. Charlotte locked in the figure 8, twice. But Tiffany clawed to the ropes. Tiffany hit the pretties. Tiffany Stratton retains title despite brutal injuries at WrestleMania 41. WrestleMania 41 was a night to remember. A night full of unforgettable moments, shocking turns, and epic battles. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping of all, Tiffany Stratton, the self-proclaimed center of the universe, walking out still champion, despite a brutal, injury-riddled war that pushed her to her absolute limit. How did she survive it? What really went down in that ring? And what does this mean for the future of the women's division? Stick around. We're breaking down every bone-crunching second of Tiffany Stratton's unbelievable title defense at WrestleMania 41. Tiffany Stratton entered WrestleMania 41 with gold around her waist, swagger in her step, and the confidence of a champion who had steamrolled nearly everyone in her path. Since capturing the title, Stratton had evolved from a flashy newcomer into a legitimate main event player. Her athleticism, charisma, and unapologetic attitude made her a polarizing figure, loved by some, hated by many, but undeniable all the same. Her opponent, a returning powerhouse, a former champion, a woman with vengeance on her mind and a point to prove, Raquel Rodriguez. After months off due to injury, Raquel came back with fire, setting her sights straight on Stratton's title. And when the match was announced for WrestleMania 41, the WWE Universe knew we were in for something special. But no one could have predicted how brutal this match would get. The bell rang, and from the very first lock-up, you could feel the tension. Raquel, with her size and strength, immediately took control, tossing Stratton around the ring like a rag doll. Stratton, ever the strategist, ducked and dodged, using her speed to create separation. But the damage started piling up early. A spine-shattering powerbomb onto the apron left Stratton clutching her lower back. Moments later, Raquel whipped her into the steel steps, the sound of flesh meeting metal echoing through the stadium. Yet somehow, Tiffany kept fighting. Every time she was knocked down, she got back up. Not because she was stronger, but because she refused to give up. Raquel went for the kill multiple times, but Tiffany used her ring IQ to escape, counter, and stay alive. Around the 12-minute mark, the real turning point happened. Raquel went for her signature Texana bomb, but as Stratton landed, her leg buckled awkwardly. You could see it immediately. Something was wrong. Tiffany screamed out, clutching her knee, barely able to stand. The referee checked on her, even considered calling the match, but Stratton waved him off. She wasn't done. Then came the second blow. Raquel hit a top rope splash, and Stratton didn't get her hands up in time. The impact landed square on her ribs. Ringside medics believed she may have cracked or even broken a rib, and yet, she kicked out at 2. Commentary was stunned. The fans, many of whom had booed her for months, were now on their feet, cheering for her sheer will to continue. Tiffany Stratton was battered, bruised, limping, but still fighting. What followed was one of the gutsiest performances in WrestleMania history. Every move hurt, every breath looked like agony. But she kept swinging, using the ropes for leverage, hitting short strikes, diving off the second rope even though her leg barely held up. Raquel grew frustrated. She started making mistakes. She underestimated Stratton's grit. And then, out of nowhere, Tiffany hit the prettiest moonsault ever. But Stratton didn't stop. She climbed again, somehow, and hit a second moonsault, even with her injured knee. The bell rang. The crowd erupted. Tiffany Stratton had done the impossible. As Tiffany clutched her title, medics rushed the ring. She collapsed in the corner, barely able to stand. Her knee was visibly swollen, her breathing labored. But the look in her eyes said it all. Pride, relief, and maybe a bit of disbelief. Raquel, too, sat in the ring, staring at Stratton, and